Okay, in today's video, we're going to talk about live chat and how that specifically can help you double the amount of conversions or sales that you're getting off your PPC ads today, or within, a few days following the system that I have here in the video that in which you can set it up, which may only take you certainly a few hours. Takes me a few hours to set this up on a new site. But certainly within a few hours then can double your sales off of your PPC ads. And I don't know about you, but if I'm selling something, I don't want to work any harder than I have to make so much money. And I don't want to send out twice as many orders when I can just improve the sales process a little bit more and basically have to work half as much or make twice as more from the same amount of physical effort operations wise. And I hope you feel the same. If you're watching this video, you do probably feel the same. So anyway, obviously another application of using live chat, at least the specific special way that I've learned to use live chat to double conversions on a site is going to be able to do is take a campaign that normally wouldn't have gotten the ROI that you were looking for because you have some big time players in your market that are more established, have more time to have optimized their ads before you. You might only be at half the numbers you need. This can be, put you where you need to be, and not just make you profitable, but then you can potentially then scale your ads up, which should be the goal of every campaign you run. So you start out with a few thousand, and suddenly you're at 30,000 a month in ad spend later on down the road once you've got some time to add some more campaigns. So anyway, on this video, I'm going to talk about the system, how it works, why you should use it this way, some of the do's and don'ts, tips and tricks with it, all in so that you can actually implement this for your business today or this week, as I mentioned just a minute ago in the intro of this video. So anyway, I have a normal short list of things that I'm going to cover here that's going to talk you through and go through my strategy here on how I use live chat specifically with PPC so you can do it for yourself. The first thing on the list is clarification on what live chat is that delivers massive results and why most people don't do it. So anyway, live chat. What is it that most people think of when they do live chat? Mostly, let's just start here. Mostly everybody's tried live chat, right? It's been around since the 90s or as long as, e-commerce has been around, if you will, online. Or people have been selling stuff online almost. It's changed in a few different, small ways, but fundamentally it's the same. And with that, except up till recently, which I'll get into here in a moment, you have a chat box that shows up on the screen. For the most part, you wait for somebody to want to chat, and you start to chat with that person live, in real time, answer their questions, potentially try to get the, instead of them being confused or having to, contact you through the contact form, you'll get, and they might not ever come back, you get the sale right then and there. Now, traditionally, back in the day, and I've been doing this for 15 years now, running e-commerce sites, doing PPC ads, the e-commerce, the way that it used to be done was there was an option to have, in the lower right-hand part of the screen, have your chat box show up there so somebody could choose to engage with you, or you could engage with them. And you still can do this today with the software, but very few people do that anymore, and they're relying on the chat box for people to click on that. And speaking of bots, what is a recent renovation with live chat recently, within the last couple of years, is people are starting to use bots to run those live chats to try to have artificial intelligence, if you will, machine learning algorithms, try to answer the person's questions so they don't really have to have someone there answer the questions and get the same effect. And so, and I'm going to be here first to tell you, because I've done it in each of those different variants there, engaging with the user using a real person and not just waiting for them to click the live chat, especially now since everybody has live chat now. And most people, they get frustrated when they click on it and they go to type something, it collects your information, and then there's nobody there. And people get pissed off about that, and they have a bad taste in their mouth, so they stop clicking on it. So it always worked better, and now it really works because you're going to be differentiated for doing this. But actually being able to see when the user comes to the site and then have a box pop up in the middle of the screen, or in general, you can have it pop up in the middle of the screen, and then engaging with the user in real time, actually from a real live person, and not just anybody, somebody who actually is an expert in what you're selling or offering there, so that you can help the person that you want to sell to in real time. And with that mechanism, you can double the ROI from your campaigns, doing that with a few other things that you have to add in there in terms of, you know, getting it set up. But in general, this video is about that specifically, how it works, how the economics of it can work. You may be saying, well, I don't have time to do this. Well, there's plenty of ways that you can hire somebody based upon how effective this is. And you don't have to, and there's different levels of people that you can hire that would be able to do this for you, and ways you could start literally with nobody and start with zero and build up to that, and then after a few months you will then have it automated, and you're now making twice as much money, or now your campaigns are profitable. You can scale them up and you're making way more money in your company now. But stay away from the bots, because people can tell it's a bot when they chat with it. They're not stupid, and for the most part, it doesn't really help anybody. If a bot could do it, why wouldn't all the furniture stores and car dealerships and so on and so forth, when you go into the car dealership, they would just give you a computer bot to talk to? Nobody wants that. And so when they see that, and the idea is, oh, they can't tell. I can tell you they can tell. And it barely helps. And for the most part, I don't see any benefit at all to using it. If it's between a bot versus nothing, I would personally rather use no bot at all and no live chat at all. It's that bad, in my opinion, in terms of the results. I've seen people use it. I've recommended people take it off because it's not helping you. And if anything, well, it's worth it. Here's the golden rule about it. It's worth it to actually engage with users, or at the very least, let people click on the box to ask a question lifetime in real time, and actually be there to answer it, during normal business hours. That you're really, stupid to have a bot, because that doesn't really do anything, and you're missing out on all those sales by having an actual person to answer it, which is the way that it was designed, and it always worked back in the day. And for the most part, and I've said it on many other videos, if you do what everybody else does with your PPC, you can't expect to actually make it work well, because there's 10 or 20% that make most of the money, 80% of the money in Google search space. There's only so many of the ads get rotated out. There's only so many people making money. And most of them are making very little or none, and they either don't realize it, or they aren't tracking it all. They aren't tracking it at all, or they're just satisfied with a crappy result. If you want the massive returns to where you can scale up and make millions of dollars from your ads, you need to be able to figure out how to be in that top 10 or 20% as far as your strategy goes. And this is just an easy way to do it, because nobody wants to man a chat. You might only have 10 or 20% right off the bat even doing that at all. And if you go one step further, like I mentioned on this video, you definitely will be the only one doing it. And therefore, by default, you've got this massive advantage, 2x advantage of efficiency on turning a click into a sale that nobody else has. That'll get you to be able to afford the clicks, and most of the clicks, and whereas nobody else really will be able to. So anyway, moving on though. So what is that strategy? Here's the method that instantly doubles results if you're going to implement it today for your business. You take your ads and you put in your ad, live chat agent online now or available now. Literally just like that. You don't have to get fancy. Add that to a part of your ad. Preferably like in the headline too, so that people see it right away. Because the person that wants help right away and has questions, and it helps sometimes 3x or 4x in some niches, and sometimes it's only 1x. If you're in a niche where people have to engage with you before making a sale, it can be upwards of 3x, and just depending on how much the person's actually helped by talking to a salesperson. And you may get hounded with a bunch of messages, but that's good, because that means you're going to be making money. And so you put that in the ad, the person sees that, the other ads are there, they're clicking on your ad now twice as high of a rate as everybody else's, because they want to know it's convenient for them. Therefore, the cost of your ads automatically go down. That's the first benefit right off the top, which can go into heavily into doubling the ROI and potentially tripling it when you add in all these other benefits depending on your market. So you put that in your ad, the person gets there, then right what they call above the fold. So before you scroll on your landing page, and you of course need a custom landing page to do PPC if you want to be in the top 10 or 20%. So I always do all my campaigns, and yes, they're a pain to do them right, but they're worth it. Again, you millions of dollars worth of sales a year for people that do the landing page when everybody else kind of just skips it a lot of times or doesn't put much effort into it. That you put on the landing page above the fold, you put it like a green dot that looks like, and then put basically live chat available now, and then an arrow to go have the box pop up, or an arrow pointing down to the lower right hand part of the screen, so the user knows live agent, you weren't bait and switching them, and then they can open up the chat box and know that they're not going to be talking to dead air, because that by and large is what people think by default now, because people are so lazy and they're not manning that chat during real time. So you're basically sucking the demand in. The person that is the most serious, if you will, clicks on your ad now. You get them to the page. You get them engaged and stuck on the page at a much higher rate. Potentially twice as many people will just engage with you in terms of inquiries than before. With that, obviously you're going to have a few other less qualified, but between the reduction in the cost per click you're going to get from the higher click-through rates, and you might get twice as many inquiries for the same money, and maybe only 50% convert, it's still a significant difference. So ultimately you still have a 2x overall return difference on your PPC ROI, which is how basically you usually get to the doubling of the campaign profit / ROI on a campaign when you add this to your business. And then ultimately so whereas you could point to the box, I recommend doing that, and I also recommend if the person's on the page for more than 30 seconds, you immediately have the chat box pop up for them, and then you have a message on there that gets them to engage with you at the highest rate you can. And you have something on there that says something like, I am a Mercedes XLS expert. So right away they know that you're not a bot because you're being specific, and the person's on the XLS page. I'm just making up that model. I don't know if that was an exact model. And that you can answer their question about the buying a 6-speed XLS, since that clearly is what you're interested in. Hi, I'm a Mercedes expert. I can answer your questions about the XLX series 6-speed. Basically you have any questions about it. They know you're not a bot again right off the bat, which is the important part, so that they engage and they don't close it. And then that you can run with that and you get a lot more sales than you could otherwise, because the whole goal when you get someone to your landing page or site is to get them to not go back to Google. And then if you engage them in a conversation, yes, you're going to get a few more that aren't qualified that way, but you're going to get a lot more that would have just left and would start searching around, get distracted, that are not going to get distracted now that you got this set up for your business. And of course, other things that you can say is, can I help you out with that right now? / how is the weather out? And because a lot of chat softwares will tell you where the person is at, to make sure people know. You're trying to sound human here. I can hear a couple other things. I can find the best guaranteed deal on the XL series. I'm a specialist in that. Would you like some help finding, you're trying to find the best deal on this? I could put in a frame of reference for you how to find the best deal on this model of car, which would be another way of doing it. So, but in general, you get the idea and you can tell what page they're on, you can tell what keyword they typed in. All that information is available in the top chat softwares now. So you can see what they exactly were interested in, and then so when you have the chat box pop up, You can say, hey, I can tell you exactly what you want to know about the 6-speed XLS series that you're searching for and in market for, so you get the guaranteed best deal from it. How would you like to ask a question about this model today? If you do that, you will get the double in ROI, virtually guaranteed. So obviously now we are getting into the added expense of having somebody do it. Now, versus yourself. If you have no money, of course, you could start out doing it yourself. Obviously I found, for me, advising our clients and e-commerce sites that I've ran, if the advertising, if we're spending about $3,000 a month on the advertising, we can get an offshore person that's excellent in English. I recommend Philippines, that you could find somebody who works at a high-end bank that speaks perfect English, somebody who basically you can't tell the difference between, are they American or not. To that level, you can find that if you just know where to look there. And I just gave you the tip there that I use and that you can find for this type of thing. And then you have them and you train them on not just how to sell, but the information about the products. Now, that's not as good as having a trained salesman. That can get you by, that will get you some sales. When you get the ad spend up to $20,000 a month, there's no question that you should have a full-time person doing this on your site, because doubling your ROI at that point will easily pay for the cost of that dedicated salesperson. If you have a salesperson now, you can have a prompt show up on the phone. When somebody gets to the site, they can see, oh, they're interested in this, this, and this. Click engage, type in what the script they told you, then you got what you want. But if they're too busy, obviously, when you're spending $20,000 a month on ads, if you don't have this, you're really kicking your own butt not doing this for yourself. So anyway, because the ROI is so good, just start out doing it for yourself for a couple weeks. See the number differences that you're getting. If you think it's good, hand it off to an offshore person and train them up. They can read through all the past discussions that you've had with clients. Maybe that will be good enough. If not, create a Q&A, or do it long enough to where they have enough to study that they can answer the questions too and get it done. Otherwise, you can again hire the specialized salesperson that has industry experience, or the person in-house now that does it. Now, the final option you have, if you don't have money for a US-based salesperson, you need it because they need to have a lot of knowledge and they need to be on top of it. You can do a very easily if you're spending more than $3,000 a month on ads, more so if you're in the $10,000 to $20,000 a month range still, you can easily find commission sales rep people that have experience in your business, or you could say, hey, I have all these people coming to the site right now. All you got to do is click engage. You can generate this many sales a month. You can see I've already been doing it. You can make another $10,000 a month. You're doing whatever you're doing. If you take my leads and you answer these live chats for me with using my system, you can make another $10,000 a month. Do you want to do it or not? Now that's another option that you have, of course, to do it as well. But ultimately, that's the general idea behind all of this. And do it yourself. Find out the message that works the best to get the highest response rate you can. Again, it's not about getting qualified leads. It's just because you're going to get, the person is either qualified or not when they get to your page. That small segment that is qualified, you're just trying to get twice as many responses from that crowd, that sliver of traffic that you have ultimately. And then with that, you will get your doubling in ROI. Once you have that, if you understand the math and the economics of what you just did for yourself, then you can obviously decide which of those 3 options or 4 options I gave you to farm it out to handle it from then on. But and then ultimately, the last thing I'll say about this as well, of course, if the ROI is not there on a $3,000 a month, it will be at $20,000 a month. And if you double your ROI, you could probably now scale your ads. And so instead of being troubled over the cost of the salesperson, just have a goal in mind to scale your $3,000 a month in ads to $20,000 a month, because now you're getting an 8-to-1 return on your money, and why not? So if you keep your eye not on the immediate return, but the fact, the potential that if you double your ROI, that you can now put more fuel in the fire, i.e. more ad spend in through your account, because now it works at an acceptable level, and then you can make more money that way. And then you're going to have a salesperson handle all those sales leads, where it will make sense once you scale it up a little bit more. Maybe you bite the bullet a little bit at the beginning, knowing that they'll be fully trained and ready to go once you have it scaled up over the next 6 to 12 months, that person's trained, so on and so forth. So there's a whole bunch of different options for you, but that's certainly what I do. If you're stuck and you're 6 months into running a campaign and you got a 5-to-1 return, you need 8-to-1 return, you implement this, bam, you got instantly what you want. Do it yourself for a little while, hand it off to somebody, scale up your ads perhaps, but with that, you've got turnkey profit right there, ready to go. It's worth it for you to do. And I recommend doing it, of course, for yourself and seeing for yourself that what I'm saying here is absolutely true. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I have a lot of other videos on this channel just like it. You certainly should subscribe so you can check out those daily videos I have coming out about different PPC money-making strategies just like this one. You can also go to guaranteedppc.com/blog and read step-by-step money-making PPC strategies that I personally have developed and given you step-by-step instructions how to do based upon the 15 years of PPC experience that I have putting PPC campaigns that ultimately that we have to guarantee to work for our clients in order to get paid here as well at our firm. So anyway, and if you have any questions about the live chat, any aspects of what I just mentioned here, or do it and you have run into any issues, leave a comment down below. I'd be glad to try to help you out and put you on the right track there so that you can get the most out of ultimately what you're doing here for yourself. Thank you.